And Princess of Wales has announced in a personal video message that she has been diagnosed with cancer, is in the early stages of preventive chemotherapy. The announcement was her first public address following months of speculation about her health, as she has not made an official public appearance since Christmas. Kensington Palace said in January she had successful abdominal surgery and would not resume official duties until after Easter.
This, of course, came as a huge shock, and William and I have been doing everything we can to process and manage this privately for the sake of our young family.
Joining us now is the former Chief Content Officer of Hearst, Joanna Coles.
Joanna, it is very good to see you. I think we just need to lay the groundwork for the American audience here. I was listening to a really great podcast last week. It was not one of those conspiracy theory podcasts. It was from the Canada Broadcasting Company. And the reporter that they had on, who follows the royal and reports on the royal family, noted that there are separate press offices for the king, separate press offices for the Prince and Princess of Wales, so on and so forth. And there's not... They don't have to coordinate, and they are each worried about their respective principal. And I think that speaks to the difference that we saw in when the king was diagnosed with cancer and came out. There was a statement, and then we've seen him a number of times, and there was not wild speculation about his health, right? And in that statement, the press office for the king noted, we are doing, and I'm paraphrasing here, but noted that they're doing it for transparency purposes. I'm wondering what you make of the handling of the staff, the press staff of this for the Prince and Princess of Wales.
Yes. Well, first, let me just say that I think everybody was shocked by this announcement, and it's impossible not to feel for Kate, the mother of 3 young children. Of course, her children are her priority, so it's understandable why they delayed giving the information, and how frightening to be told that you have cancer. That said, the frenzy that has been going on social media and in the press to figure out why it was taking so long for her to get back to public life really reached a climax this week. And then, of course, there was the information that perhaps her medical records had been taken from the London clinic, or at least been accessed, which is clearly what's prompted this statement. But your question about transparency is absolutely crucial. And if you're opaque with the public, and now with social media, you have millions of armchair detectives trying to figure out what's going on, and was that really her spotted at the farm shop last week? You have chaos. And so it was finally smart of them to tell people what was going on. I thought the video itself made Kate look isolated, actually. It was slightly strange to me that William, who is, after all, the future king, wasn't at her side. She referenced him and said it was marvellous to have him at her side. But, of course, he wasn't actually at her side in the video. So I think it could have been handled much better. It should have been handled earlier when they clearly knew. But I also understand her responsibility to her children, not wanting this to be out during the school week. And so hopefully people will back off a bit now.
Joanna, to that point about backing off, and my sense of all of this is when this video did hit, it caused a great deal of, sort of head bowed, like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry, kind of, approach by some in the media, at least. What has been in the last 24 hours, if you will, the sort of dealing with this revelation among the public? How are they now viewing this? Are they less likely to be consuming a lot of the conspiracy noise that's been coming through the rafters? And the press, how are they now assessing, this desire for information, but in fact, when they get it, it may not be necessarily the story they've been telling?
Well, first of all, I think there's enormous sympathy in Britain for Kate. She is by far the most popular member of the royal family. And, if you give it some context, she's the first princess after Princess Diana, and then there was the Duchess of York, otherwise known as Fergie. She's the first woman to come along and look like she's actually really enjoying the job. She turns up, she's enthusiastic, people love her, she's always smiley, she looks fantastic. So there's shock. Immense sympathy for the fact that she's a mother of 3 young children who are 10, 8 and 5, I think. And so I think there's also curiosity about the type of cancer. The palace revealed that Prince Charles had King Charles, sorry, I still find it difficult to call him King Charles after his 74 years in apprenticeship. They didn't say what kind of cancer King Charles has. They haven't said what kind of cancer Kate has. So now, of course, every doctor is on television trying to make a stab at it, and every armchair medical detective online is trying to make a stab at it. It might have been easier if they'd just come out and told people, because that speculation is not going to die down. But I think there is a general sense that the press are going to back off now, give her the time that she needs to recover, and enormous excitement at seeing her back out when she's ready to do her public duties.
Joanna, for those of us in the news and information space, it does feel as though part of what this story reveals, the way this has unfolded, what it reveals, is that we're in a new era of news and information where there has always been this push and pull around privacy and transparency for public people. But now part of what we're seeing is that when there is a void left, there are a lot of bad actors who are willing to step into that void with bad information. I think that complicates the job of the press. I think that complicates the job of the press office. I think this is new terrain in as much as some of these issues are very, very old.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Alicia. It's a great point. And, you know, in a sense, the press office is set up to deal with the press. They're not set up to deal with social media. And who knows where the bad actors come from? There's clearly people trying to destabilise Britain internally by trying to destabilise the royal family, all sorts of rumours. And to be fair to the tabloids, they've actually been pretty respectful over this process. Everybody's been trying to figure out what's going on. I think the three people that were held for questioning over trying to get access to her medical records were probably being paid by somebody. So that's a sort of interesting dilemma. But it is hard to manage social media. The only way to do it is to be as transparent as you can and then to back off. A simple, straightforward, truthful statement and then to leave it at that. And most people in the public eye now know that.
Interesting dynamic, a press office not set up to deal with social media. Joanna Coles, thank you so much for being with us.